Welcome to your ideal day. Before we go into this document, it may look overwhelming at the start. We'll make sure we make sense of it. But before we get into the details, I really want to highlight the intention of this document. Most people, when they start a program, they're saying time is one of the challenges, one of the things that they have to deal with every day, with so much on the go, feeling like it's hard to be consistent, taking care of themselves because of everything on their plate. Or they don't have that much of a structure or schedule routine. And maybe they have a ton of free time, which leads to lack of momentum and movement because we don't have that routine, that rhythm, that jive each day. So this document here is to really support making sure that we put the most critical things in, our health and well-being first, all the other major items and roles, responsibilities into our plan. I don't think we do a time audit. We do a lot of budgeting, financial auditing, but looking at our time and reflecting and looking at how are we spending our time? Are we making the most of our time? Are we just going through the motions every single day? Oftentimes, I think most of us are. Even if we are doing pretty well, there is room for improvement. There always is. And we can be more efficient and manage our time more effectively. So this document is to support that so that when we take on the training, the exercise, the nutrition, sleep, some of the mindset practices, we've carved out and blocked off the time. That is a major component of habit development, creating the place and the prompt for our habits. So I'm going to go through here. If there's any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to myself or the team. Just a very high level overview. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Hopefully it's not too small for you to see. We've got a whole bunch of stuff here. This is kind of the legend over here. And then this is the calendar item with, you can see the time down the middle. I'm just going to zoom in to this section at the bottom left. This is a little bit of a mind map. First, consider your roles and responsibilities. Break it down to categories. This is just an example where we've got personal, community, family, work. It could be spread in so many different ways, but the idea is, say for family, maybe you're a brother or a sister and you want to make sure you have time to spend with your siblings, nephews, nieces. You are a son or a daughter. You want to spend time with your parents, your mother or father, and that takes up a lot of time taking care of the kids, partner, husband or wife, date night, quality time, you name it. That's just breaking down family. And there's probably more to put in there. Work. Maybe you don't just do you're not just focusing on doing your own work projects, but maybe you're a partner or you have other people that you're in charge of. You've got interns or you've got staff members, you name it. There's a whole bunch of different hats we wear in the different categories. This is a very high level example of it. This is a great place to start just to get an idea of everything on our plate before creating this ideal day and be like, wait a second, I forgot about my family. I didn't schedule family time in their date night, or I didn't schedule time to see my friends or to do adventures or socialize. So this second tab here at the bottom, this is a page to do whatever you want with it. I like mind mapping. There's mind mapping apps, getting a piece of paper. When I first started in this work and had a life coach or a business coach, maybe 10, 12 years ago, maybe more, she called it the brain dump, a Coach Mayer. Anyway, so I wrote down on a big piece of sketch paper and I started to doodle. And I'm like, wow, I've got so much that I'm trying to fit in. And I'm a time optimist and often I'm leaving myself disappointed. So I think we need to realize all the roles, responsibilities, see all the things that are pulling for our time and attention and start to make some choices. I don't think we can have a cake and eat it unless we enroll others, we automate things, we delegate things. That's the way to really maximize our time. But if we're just going to use the 24 hours in the day and we're not implementing any of those tactics or many of them, we really have to put some stuff on hold, maybe cancel things or stop things, especially habits and activities that are not serving our greater vision, mission, and values. So do whatever you need to do to organize this. Again, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to share other templates for that. But the intention of this is to really go into creating our ideal day. over here on the left, you'll notice we've got powerful daily practices. That is a key component of our program. Rather than just having a training program, we're about implementing new lifestyle habits that are going to stick and that we can always upgrade. So we've broken it down into 3 major rocks for movement, mindset, nutrition, and recovery, which you'll see right here. And this might change over time. This document might change. So right now the video, the way it's being filmed, might be a little bit different. But essentially we've got these items here with our targets, general targets of what is optimal, what we're shooting for. We're not going to start here for all the habits, but you will have received from our team, maybe from myself, the plan of how many strength training sessions we're going to be doing per week, how many minutes of cardio per week, so on and so forth. We're not going to tackle everything at once. So from here, we are going to now block off time. So say, for example, we're sleeping 6 hours and we're now shooting for 6 hours of sleep. And maybe we're not strength training and we're not getting enough. I'm going to change this to active steps. We were 3,000 steps. We're shooting for 4,000 steps, 4K. So let's make sure we block this in. So starting with sleep, 7 hours. I'm going to go here on the schedule. I'm going to start with what time I'm going to go to bed. And actually, I'm going to copy this. This is how easy it is. Command C or copy however you want, sleep quantity. And in order for me to get I said 7 hours and I need to be up at 6. That means I need to be in bed by 7. So I'm going to copy that and then basically highlight all this and then merging cells. You can just repaste it in every one. So sleep. Or you can rename this to sleep 7 hours, so you know. And then we'll go up to the top here, and I'm pasting it again, and I'm getting up at 6, so I'm gonna do this up until 7 hours. And okay, great. So now I blocked off, I've scheduled in the foundation. Usually sleep's foundation. If we're not getting 7 to 9 hours, that's where we start. Then I'm going up to strength training. Okay, great. Let's schedule some time to do strength training. Am I going to do it right at 6 a.m.? I don't know. And you can see here's an example. Maybe we wake up and we're going to hydrate or go to the washroom, things like that. So what we can do is for that strength training copy, maybe I'm going to give myself until 6:30. And maybe my strength training program designed by our team is, say, 30 minutes. So I block off 30 minutes, right? Maybe I want to put a bit of a buffer in too. So I'm going to copy this buffer in. Boom. That is scheduled. My steps, rather than saying I'm going to get 4,000 steps in the day, maybe I'm getting 3,000, but I need to get an extra 1,000 in. Maybe during lunch hour, I'm going to I'm going to block off 15 minutes to go for a walk during my lunch hour. So maybe I start off the lunch hour getting steps before I have my meal. So you get the idea. That's all it takes. Copy and paste to creating the ideal day. You can fill in more if you choose to do so. And like say, for example, what I would suggest you do, if you have a strict work schedule, then you can merge this. I'm going to copy this over, work. Okay, so this is blocked off here. And then maybe we're working again in the afternoon. I'm going to paste this here as well. So I'm going to zoom out so you can see a little bit more of this. So far, we've got the sleep scheduled in, strength training, work, my steps, and when I'm going to bed. Great. Once we've created this, one of the practices you can do, and this is for the weekdays, Monday to Friday, or whatever your typical, say, work week is, or structured week, we can also now reflect on what we're currently doing. Because if we put this in and we know, okay, well, I'm sleeping until 7:30 and I'm up until 3 in the morning, maybe that's too much of a stretch. So you can just reflect. You can put in the current. Some people don't, but if you're finding a hard time sticking to your ideal weekday, put in the current so you can see that difference. You can see any major contrast there. We can do the same activity because weekends might be different. Usually they are for people. We can do the same activity for the weekends as well. Scheduling things in, scheduling in our sleep, scheduling in, maybe we have a strength training session on the weekend. Bam, we've taken care of Monday to Sunday. The last thing that I will share with you or show is we might have very different days during the week as far as other commitments. So this is an opportunity to fill in this template right here, putting in other activities that you have. Maybe you have a board meeting. Maybe you have you've got travel on a Friday to Saturday, you've got business travel, or you've got to take the kids somewhere for a camp or whatever it may be. That's when you can schedule it in for a typical week. Okay, so that's how to use this section here. But the most important thing we want to start off with, if anything, is this column right here, the ideal weekday. Win the week, Monday to Friday or 5 days of the week, then we're off to a great start. The intention with this, the last thing I'm going to wrap up with here is we want to eventually start to add in the powerful daily practices. Maybe we start to upgrade some of these things here. Maybe we're upgrading the steps to eventually we're going to 7,500 steps. So I'm going to now maybe I'm going for half an hour walk during lunch. I'm going to copy this steps one more time here. And maybe after work, maybe I know I'm having dinner roughly around 6 o'clock. Maybe after dinner at, let's say 6:45, I'm going for a walk. So now I know I'm blocking off time for that steps, that activity. Hydration could be another goal. Maybe I'm only drinking 1 liter. I'm going to go 2 liters. Okay. So hydration, then when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to drink hydration. I'm drinking 500 milliliters. This is our user manual. It's our map to have a successful day, get from point A to point B, and know we've hit all the check marks, all the checkpoints that we want to hit. Eventually, we are going to absolutely demolish this, and we are going to build in some great powerful daily practices. We're going to have a lot of these bad boys scheduled in. We can start off, say, AM primer. We take 10 minutes for ourselves, and we can add in different things, whether we meditate, read. We don't have to do all of these, but maybe I want to start with meditating in the morning for 10 minutes. We can add in these other layers as we go, okay? The major thing is time blocking. Take the time for it. And to finish off here, we've got just another example, powerful weekly practices. One major thing for nutrition people have a hard time with is eating healthy 3 times a day. So planning your meals, maybe you plan the meals Friday evening yourself or with a family or partner. Grocery shop Saturday at 4 o'clock. You can put that in here in the calendar. And then meal prep, say Sunday at 11 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. And we can check all those off. And this is going to be the master database. From here, it's a working live document. We can modify, you can share with us, we can take a look at it. But from here, the intention would be to then shift that into your iPhone, Android, Google Calendar, whatever calendar you use. So now it's not just sitting in Google Drive in a spreadsheet somewhere uselessly, sitting there. You can print it off as well so you can see it, but putting it into your phone for the major items and just have it be reoccurring. You can have it on repeat. If you're going to be waking up, going to bed at the same time, block that off in your calendar. If you want a reminder to drink water at a certain time, put that in your calendar. Maybe you're scheduling your breakfast, lunch, and dinner because maybe you miss one. Those will be scheduled in, so on and so forth. If you have any questions, definitely please let us know. This is going to be a work in progress. You're always going to come back to this and see where am I not following through, because there's going to be a lot of things that maybe in an ideal world, they work on paper, but maybe we're just not following through because maybe we're stretching it too far. That's when we'll go to our powerful daily practice playbook for modifying our habits, maybe just modifying our expectations in our calendar. Thank you very much for watching. Any questions, don't hesitate to ask.